Hello, this is Jaden Sofa, and you're listening to another installment of Deep Questions. I'm here today with two guests, if you want to introduce yourselves.
Yeah, I'm Drew Pauly for third time now.
Nice.
And I'm Isaiah Hawansky. This is my first time here, actually. Kind of excited. This is going to be fun.
He's never been on the show, so he's about to go on a ride, I guess. Today we're going to be debating whether or not cereal is soup. Do either of you want to open with your stance on that?
Yeah, no, it is not soup. It is that easy.
Really?
You don't put it in a can.
Well, soup doesn't necessarily come from a can. I personally think that it could be considered soup, possibly. I don't know. We'll find out.
I could throw a lot of science into this right now. Do you want me to go scientific on this?
So your definition of soup is that it has to come in a can.
No, okay.
'Cause, like,
soup is any aqueous mixture with like different parts of it, but you can't really separate those parts.
Okay.
With cereal, we can separate those parts because it's a liquid and a solid.
What about a lot of soup, like vegetable soup? It's got like thick veggies that you could get out if you strained it.
Sure, but we've in the case of cereal, you've only got the two ingredients: the milk and the cereal. Sometimes not even the milk. But with take soup, you've got the main base of it, which is usually like tomatoes and all these other ingredients mashed up as one into this soup, and you can't really separate that easily.
You mean broth?
Kinda.
Yeah, I can see that. The broth that has all the stuff cooked into it, you can't really separate that out. But I will make the argument. Milk has a lot of stuff that you can't separate out of it either.
Well, with milk, it's all one mixture. Once you start separating it out, you're becoming into like proteins and fat, phospholipids, and all that fun stuff. With salsa and like soup, because I say salsa is a soup. I would say salsa is a soup, but I would not say cereal is a soup.
Interesting. What about like SpaghettiOs?
With the sauce inside of the spaghetti, with the sauce and then the SpaghettiOs and all that?
Yeah, because I mean that's fairly similar to cereal. You got the little O's.
Sure, but again, the sauce used in the SpaghettiOs is made up of several things.
Wouldn't that be more of a stew, though?
I don't know.
It's thicker.
Wait, I actually don't know. What's the difference between stew and soup?
A stew is usually thicker. It's usually got a thickening agent in it that makes it to where the broth is more viscous.
My sister has informed me many soups are heterogeneous, like broth.
So but you were trying to argue that soup is when you can't separate it, right?
Yeah, sure. With soup, you can't separate it. With cereal, you can easily separate it. You just need a filter.
If I get like really sick and I have a lot of liquidy vomit come out and that's all mixed together and I pour it into a bowl, is that soup?
Very much so.
It's a very undesirable soup, but I'd still call that soup.
So you do agree that vomit is soup, just not cereal?
Yes.
But still, that's
a very, very bad soup.
That's more chunky, though. It's more of a stew.
Not always. Again. Sometimes it's pretty liquidy.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Depends.
Like a lot of milk from your cereal.
I haven't eaten yet. I'm glad I haven't.
Oh, too bad.
What about cereal? As like, what if the milk was a sauce, and you're putting the cereal in the sauce of milk?
If you're putting what? Can you repeat that to me again?
Like a milk saucer. What if milk was a sauce? Like think about you dip cookies in milk.
Yeah, I dip cookies in milk all the time.
Is milk cookie sauce?
No, it is not a sauce because if you have to go back to the definition of sauce from the original French. What a sauce is it's a highly flavorful compound that's even thicker than a stew and is specifically designed to flavor something, kind of complement the flavor of something, but it's a whole lot stronger than a soup or a stew. A soup or stew is designed to be eaten on its own. A sauce is designed to go on something a little bit more bland. Milk itself is bland. It's the cookie that has the flavor.
So if you have like toast or something and you're dipping it in soup, does the soup become a sauce?
I don't believe.
But you were just saying because you're no longer eating it by itself. Now you're using it as like a dip.
Well, at that point, it becomes a dip. It's a sauce.
Yeah.
Huh. Yeah. I suppose. I've never thought about it before. Interesting. Well.
So
No, I wouldn't say. I wouldn't say so. Because the bread soaks it up, and I suppose the bread then becomes... I'm thinking. And...
Well, I think I understand kind of where you're going, but in the same sense, wouldn't dipping a chip, if you dip that in salsa, it eventually absorbs a portion of it as much as it can. Wouldn't that still be a sauce?
Salsa would be a sauce.
Well,
A very chunky sauce. But a sauce nonetheless. Saucy.
Okay, but you were trying to go with like the bread becomes like a container for the soup as it soaks it up. Is that where you were going?
Sort of, yeah. And soup also being a little bit less concentrated with its flavor. It's the bread isn't what you're after. You're after the soup, and the bread is just a vehicle for the soup. With a sauce, the sauce isn't the main part. It's what the sauce is on.
I kind of disagree with that. Like when I pour my chips in the salsa, I try to get 90% salsa, 10% chip.
honestly, same.
That's fair.
Especially if that stuff is... Well, here's kind of thing. And this kind of adds into your cereal thing. Is queso a sauce?
Wait, that's like
Queso,
like that yellow stuff, right?
Melted cheese.
Queso is a sauce because it's not just cheese. It's also got a little bit of extra added milk and a thickening bit in there.
Well, in the original version of queso, it was just melted cheese.
Just melted cheese. I would say that could still be a kind of...
Would that be sauce?
Once it's
or
melted, it becomes liquidy. Mm-hmm. And I'm of the opinion that cereal is soup. Cheese is just like
cheese,
milk, in a sense.
It is a solidified, reliquefied milk. Well, technically, when you liquefy the cheese, it doesn't become technically a liquid. It becomes an aqueous mixture.
Mm-hmm.
So, again, that's why I'd say it's not soup. It is a sauce at that point. So, technically, that would make the milk in cereal a sauce. A sauce, because it is something that you're adding to an external material. It's not made to necessarily come with that immediately. You have to add the cereal to the milk, just as you have to add the chip to the queso.
I mean, I've eaten milk. I've eaten cereal out of a saucer, so.
And I can see where you're coming from now, Drew. What you're saying is that, like a sauce, the milk isn't what you're after.
Mm-hmm.
It's the cereal that's in it.
Yeah, the milk just adds more, like, texture, I guess.
I can kind of see that, but I'm going to have to disagree with you and still stand by my opinion that cereal is soup, because there is a whole lot more milk in cereal than there is sauce on, say, a chip.
So you're saying there becomes like a proportion where it's too much?
Right, and it's also too liquidy, I believe.
Is water soup?
Is water soup? No, because
Just
there's
water
not
wet?
anything in it.
That's a discussion for later.
Oh, boy.
Oh, boy. I want to be here for that one.
So you're saying the thickness of it is what determines whether or not it can be soup?
Yes, that's what I'm saying. You run into a bit of a hairy situation with something like au jus, which is very, very, very thin gravy, almost liquid-like, like almost like water. But
where does that come from?
It's French.
I was going to say, I've never heard of that.
I haven't heard of that either.
But the au jus, it's very flavorful, so that's where it kind of has that middle ground between sauce and gravy and soup. But soup is, by definition, not as concentrated in flavor, kind of like the milk in a bowl of cereal.
Well, I beg to differ. I'd say like a sauce or a soup are more flavorful just because it's got so much different ingredients involved in it. It's no longer just the milk, which we get from one place. It's one thing. It's just process it all at once, and then you add an external source. It's the sauce itself is full of just different things. Like you've got tomato, potatoes, meat, ham, yam, all that fun stuff.
Right. But a sauce is more concentrated. If you take a bottle of A1 and just eat the sauce on its own, it's way too salty for one, and everything is just kind of extra because it's not designed to be eaten on its own. It's designed to be eaten on something in a smaller proportion of sauce to meat or whatever you're putting the sauce on.
All right. Going back to what you said earlier, though, about the thickness of it, I mean, if you wait a couple weeks, you can get some thick milk.
Well, yeah, but then...
I don't want Hey!
Hi, it's me. I'm infiltrating the show real quickly.
Hello, I thought you weren't supposed to be here.
I wasn't. I was about to leave, and then I heard you discussing this topic, and I knew that I needed to resolve some issues.
Do you have anything quick to throw in here? It's cereal soup.
Yeah,
It is.
that's why I'm here.
I can tell you were Ben running.
This is
So-
Joel.
Hi,
Joel.
It's Joel, by the way. You can listen to my show Mondays. Yeah, really. No, not true. This show's amazing and probably one of my favorite ones. But here's the thing, right? Cereal is not soup because if you take away the base component of a soup is a savory entree that is defined by its primarily liquid source.
A broth.
A broth, yes. If you take away the milk from cereal, it is still cereal. It is not based upon the milk or milk substitute. However, if you take the actual the actual flavorings and toppings in the cereal, that's just a bowl of milk, and that's for cats.
Well, there I beg to differ. I quite like drinking milk.
Well, no, I have nothing against drinking milk, but you don't normally go about doing that in a bowl. You do that in a cup.
Touché.
What about SpaghettiOs? Do you think there's still SpaghettiOs if you take the sauce out?
Wait, what? Wait. Is SpaghettiOs a soup?
It's the Italian cereal.
SpaghettiOs is a stew. It comes from the traditional stew of Bologna in Italy called ragu alla bolognese.
Dang, that you're too smart for the show, man. You gotta throw all this lingual stuff. I mean, I'm impressed, but still. Yeah. So there we go. We have SpaghettiOs as a stew, and I would beg to offer the fact that cereal is not soup. It can be similar to soup in some forms, but cereal is not soup.
You know, I think you have convinced me. And I would like to elaborate on that. The cereal itself is what you're after. I don't know about y'all, but whenever I eat soup, I'm after the broth.
Sure, yeah.
So it's a different... You're not after the milk. Right.
Unless...
In that case...
Unless you're eating a chocolate cereal and it turns the milk chocolate, then it's all about the milk. It is about slowly using your cocoa resources.
Then the contents are mixed and it's a soup
It's a
according
soup.
to your definition
In
earlier.
that case.
Well, okay, that variation of the cereal is a soup because it has fused together. However, you can still that does not stop you from inherently taking a bowl of Cocoa Puffs and just eating it dry. Now, what I should say, I'm not advocating for that kind of ridiculous kind of behavior. If you're going to eat cereal, you better put that in milk. I am a peaceful man. But if I see someone just going around chomping down shredded wheats like they're Pringles,
I am one of those.
they better...
Oh, no.
You would not like my family.
Jaden.
Well, see, the thing is, if you leave
Jaden.
it in the milk, it gets all soggy. And
That's the point. The whole point of the milk is for the cereal to get
Nah, I
soggy.
drink milk with my cereal. I keep them separate.
That's
Jaden.
interesting.
Jaden.
I'm a
Jaden.
monster.
Who are you? Wow.
That's interesting. Now, here's something interesting. Are we talking about cold cereal or hot cereal, like a porridge?
Okay, here's a better question. Is porridge or oatmeal actually cereal? Because in my opinion, those things aren't. They're
they're just
entirely
vomit.
own.
I think they are cereal. If you go back to the original definition, you'll notice I'm a definition guy.
Absolutely.
A cereal, it comes from the Greek goddess of grain.
I think out of all the people that I know, you would be the person to know that, but I'm having the hardest time believing that Lucky Charms and Kix can be equated at all to ancient mythology.
They're magically nutritious.
Directly.
Yeah, they're magically. Yeah.
They've got a leprechaun. How is this not mythical?
Exactly.
Okay, you know what? On second thought, the Trix Rabbit is just perfectly equatable to Hercules. So go on.
Here's
Very
a
much so.
concept. Okay, you know how tricks used to be the shapes, but now they're just...
They're back. The shapes are back.
The shapes are back.
Well, that
The shapes
ruins,
are back.
That ruins the joke I was going
Okay,
for.
no, all right,
well.
wait. All right, retcon that. Rewind. Go on, Jaden, to what you were
Well, I
about to
was gonna
say,
say,
that I
did-
totally did not interrupt you on.
Did they really change, or did we just grow up and we can't see them now because tricks are for kids?
I wonder that every day. Or because we are now in college, has
Maybe
that
we're kids
childhood
again.
spirit been revised? Okay.
Do indeed
I'm gonna go
have
home and
like
get some
3
tricks.
Nerf guns in my room, so I'd beg to say that that childhood is back.
And we are absolutely having a party on December 7th where we just play Smash like the entire day.
Oh, and I wasn't invited?
Isaiah,
you
you
are
are now.
Okay, I was about to say.
Yes. And
We're gonna have everyone.
yeah,
everyone will
is
be here.
Everyone is here, and
Oh,
we'll
man.
be playing Smash. But yeah, so I just I probably should have already left, but I just really wanted to come in here and just to because for some reason I'm very passionate about this specific subject.
Thank you for that input,
Yes.
even though it's wrong.
Yeah. It's a very
Fair.
important subject.
Yes, absolutely. And if you want to listen to more serial radio, you can listen to a podcast called The Empty Bowl, which is a meditative podcast filled with very peaceful background noises, chimes, and it's all about cereal. And I'm
It's
not
like-
making this up.
Like milk pouring
Nice.
into milk pouring into the bowl.
Yep, there's
the
ocean
splash
wave
of that.
there's ocean waves going. They all the hosts speak in very subtle tones, and then they just talk about serial news, reviews, and fun facts.
In the background, you hear the grumble of Dad coming down the stairs in his robe, and he's just like, "Ah, where's my coffee?"
I mean, both of these guys are in their 30s, but still, that spirit is definitely still there.
Oh,
Anyways,
splendid.
We got to hear from Serial.
So yes, in my final defense, I will say that cereal is defined by the actual product found in the box and not the formatting of the cereal, and thus it cannot conclusively be defined as a soup.
All right, I'm assuming you gotta leave now.
Probably, yeah,
All
How
right,
sad.
but it's fine. All right, thanks for being willing to just crash your party. Sorry,
it's fine.
Oh no.
we're back to the normal cast. See you guys in 2019.
2019. Wow, that's like
And
a
I'm
year
back.
from now.
Hello.
Thank God Joel came in here and argued my side of the argument. Thank God.
Farewell. Now, that brings up a new thing that I just thought of. Gazpacho. That's a lot of people here would mistake that for a salsa.
What is gazpacho?
It's
I know I've heard that before.
It's a Spanish cold soup from Andalusia in the south of Spain.
All right.
It's basically like salsa, but most of it is blended together to be a liquid, and it's not eaten as a soup. I mean, as a salsa on chips or anything. It's eaten as, a soup with a spoon, and you have bread on the side. So,
All right.
so
I
that's
still think the bread makes it a sauce.
you think the bread makes it a sauce.
I do.
Okay. Well, with that, I think would not cereal be considered a cold soup in that case?
A cold soup. Does soup need to be warm?
It does not. Gazpacho, cold cucumber soup, you got all sorts of different cold soups. It's mainly defined by the viscosity of it.
What about salt water?
Salt water?
Could that be a soup?
Could salt water be a soup? Oh gosh, that's a nasty soup.
Or just like flavored water in general?
Flavored water in general.
I don't think salt water is really a flavor there, but
I think not, because that's a very homogeneous mixture. The soup is usually got chunks in it. It's usually heterogeneous. You can see the bits and pieces of stuff.
what about tomato soup? That's pretty equally blended.
Yeah, I'd say that's homogeneous.
Yeah, but you can kind of see the bits. It's not all like liquid, is it? I'm thinking of tomato sauce.
I mean, it's pretty liquidy.
Yeah, I'd say it's pretty liquidy.
fairly red.
Tomato soup. It's usually got chunks of stuff in it. Usually, though, doesn't it?
I wouldn't say so.
Like bits of meat?
Not the ones I use. No, it's just like liquefied tomatoes.
Wow, English nomenclature is confusing. How do we come up with the idea of naming things?
I have no idea.
You're asking the two wrong majors for that.
We got a mass comm major, a nursing major, and Isaiah, I forgot your major.
Political science pre-law minor.
That's what okay.
Yeah, see, I only barely know what's going on in Latin.
I don't know. You gotta know the names of like everything, all the bones, all the muscles, all the.
Unfortunately.
Maybe that's where the confusion comes from. We have so many different words from so many different languages that they just kind of overlap.
That's fair. Do you guys have anything else to say about his cereal soup?
Well, I came here thinking I knew the answer, but I'm coming away from it more confused than I was.
That tends to happen.
So basically, cereal's not a soup. You know why? Because Jaden's wrong. That's it. That's the only reason you need.
And I veto that opinion. But we're going to go on our first music break here, so stay tuned.